Thank God I went to bed before 4 a.m. last night. My goodness, if I can just go to bed around the witching hour of 12, I might do a whole lot better in sleep. This is your boy L to the B. I have woken up really late this morning, but I went to bed early last night. I think I made up for a lot of hours I've been missing. I feel a lot better. I'm just ready for the day. Now I got to put together this bookcase thing. I've got some conditions I have to set in order for me to do other things in my life, and that's what I aim to do. But I went through some weird stuff last night. I don't know if it was some of the food I ate last night. I mean, I don't ever eat vegetables now because of just how they behave in my body. And it's weird, like, I started having pains after eating some broccoli, and it's like, dang, oh man, like I have problems with this stuff, and it's weird. I can't explain it. And I take a good probiotic, but it's not bad. Let's be honest, but it's normal. I mean, like I'm aware and I'm conscious of the discomfort. So, anyways, my dreams last night were so potent. And then I got into a space where oneness was really talking to me. Like it was indicating just how much our experiences are an illusion. And I don't know if I can really convey that message strong enough. Like when you're in a frequency, an energetic frequency that is really you're experiencing that effect, that vibration. It's hard to put in words. You can't just give somebody a feeling. I mean, that experience and feeling is transformative. And a lot of people have already heard that this is just an illusion. It's just a distortion. So don't believe in it. All that kind of stuff. But again, these are just words. It's too simplistic of a statement. And so, what I was in last night was like the statement on crack. It was extremely in depth without it saying a whole lot. Like you were in that experience of it being the void and all of the many different playouts and everything was. I mean, there's a reason why we have so many things manifest out of nothing or manifest out of our own imagination because we really are in a dream state. And it got deeper than that because we're almost convinced of the reality we're experiencing so much that we're dead to it and we're not living it. We're not living any of this grand energy that we can be a part of. I'm not saying what's intended because everybody has different intentions, and I think that's what sets up a lot of the vibrational frequencies. But we really miss out on a lot of information, like too much information. So there was a quote that went into my mind, and it was like, you never really. Let me read this quote to you because it was I had to write it down. This was in the middle of the night, and then there was probably some other things that I could have wrote down, but this was one I definitely wrote down. It says, "So here's the quote: You're never more alive than when you realize you're already dead." Mmm. Mmm. You never realize you're alive. You're more alive than when you already realize that you're dead. Or what the hell? I don't know how I wrote it down because I write exactly how the phrasing comes in. It's a smooth type of phrasing, so I'll make sure I write it down. You're never more alive than when you realize you're already dead. So I've got the quote in my head now, so I want you to think about that. Most of the time, we're fixated on the concept or belief that we're alive. Like, I'm alive, I've got to go do all these different things. I mean, that is our programming. But what this, in essence, and last night made perfect sense to me, still somewhat makes sense to me today. I went probably a good 30 minutes to an hour where I felt like I was in death energy. But the death energy didn't feel like I was dead. It's weird to explain. It's like I just tapped into more of what was there. And yeah, I was dead. Like, we're all dead. That's the whole point. But it's a dream within a dream. So this is why I'm saying what I'm saying, because that's what was going off in my mind last night. It's like, can you have a dream within a dream? Good question, right? Yeah, you can. Could it all be one thing? So here's some of the power questions. These are some of the universal principles I'm applying now, because there are universal principles. Like, ah, I don't have them in front of me, but I think they're even in Hermeticism. But like, one of them is the pendulum effect. As much as you hit energy in one direction, it has to come swinging back the other. So there's the pendulum effect. I don't. There's some nuance to all this stuff that I'm saying, but I'm going to get down to all as one thing. Okay. So this is a universal principle that everything is connected, and so you can't do one thing without the whole thing being affected in some aspect, and that gets again a bit a nuance. Universal principles are supposed to be nuanced. I mean, obviously they apply to the universe, right? They're they got full application. But this one, what I'm talking about, this adds to that. And so when I say you're never more alive than when you realize that you're dead already. So if you're dead already, what can you do? You can do anything. There is no ultimate end. You are it. You are already ended. You are just experiencing. And at some level, you can even get away from this body. You can move out of the shell. I think the bodies that we are in tether this experience from an energetic or non-energetic vibration or whatever it is. It captures this essence of what is vibrating, and it becomes a tether to the earth. But otherwise, all of it, earth, whatever you want to call it, this big void around us that we're sensing, it's all an illusion. It's all just a dream, because it's all manifested up here. My senses are manifesting this experience. And to get a full objective comparison to it is damn near impossible. Because you can't do something with complete objectivity if there is some level of personal or subjective interpretation. I dare somebody to argue with me on that. Is there room for full, real, legit objectivity? Nah, I don't think so. So we always have some construct that we're using this information from. And somebody says, but we can all agree that that's a rock. Everyone agrees that's a rock. Yeah, according to all our constructs. We have manifested this experience here at rock. And so we all come to some kind of uniform agreement. But I could easily be some other entity and have this whole experience not even manifest in front of me at all. For the vibrational signatures that I have connected to, I may not even experience you. I may not experience the rock or any of this other type of experience around, because that energetic connection or pairing or whatever you want to call it, it doesn't fit with that program. So it's probably really easy to have a multi-layered experiential system within this place we call Earth. So that I'm an entity that's going through something here, you're an entity that's going through something here, and then there's other entities alongside us that we can't experience, and it's like this non-infringement. And there's multi-layers of our experiences that are going along with this. It probably goes along with some parallel realities type stuff. All these things are playing out. And somebody says, that's impossible. That's crazy talk. There's nothing off the table. The people that say stuff like that, they crack me up, because they've never looked at anything sci-fi. And then they never dabble with anything with quantum physics. They don't deal with Eastern philosophies. It's just very, it's fun. I think it's hilarious, because it just, if somebody says, no way, that's impossible, it is impossible from your standpoint. And at the same time, like, I think people need to evaluate just how much they lack. You have to agree. You have to look at, you lack something. When you say it's impossible, you're coming from a lack state. You lack the understanding, the possibility that it could possibly happen. There's quite a bit there, but it's a lack. It's a lack energy, lack of belief. So, and I'm just kind of rambling on today because I'm in a different flow state. But if you're vibing with it, great. I'm glad you're vibing with it. But when we entertain all this and we say, well, how is that possible? Let's ask the question in reverse. How is it possible that all these things could be happening? Multi-layered realities alongside multi or differential realities with their multi-realities. It happens because we're in a dream state. I asked the question before, can a dream be within a dream? Yeah. Are we within? We are born within ourselves. We develop out of nothing in our mother's wombs. Now, somebody says, well, I have to disagree. Like, where did you come from? Trace everything back. Where the sperm come from, where the egg comes from. Were these things visibly whole all along, or did it just kind of shape and come together? Well, there's other smaller cells that do all this. Okay, where'd they come from? We can keep this process going until eventually you're coming through a wormhole of unseen. They came from nothing. You come from nothing. Everything comes from nothing. So what's that world like? What's a world of nothing? It's not alive, is it? Okay. Nothing is nothing. It's not existing in this type of energetic experience. Is dead similar to that? Wow. Impermanence. It's not around. Yeah. So, but how is it that I'm never more alive than me not realizing that I'm already dead? It's because you're from the same damn thing. I ain't saying it is damned, but we all come from it. So if everything comes from nothing, it's all one thing. I'm using universal principles now. And it's elusive. It can be anything and everything. And it's so symbolic of what? The dream state. The infinite. The realm of what? Of all possibility. and impossibility. These are the universal principles manifesting. So what we're experiencing is a dream state inside or outside, however you want to wrap your mind around this, another dream state. And that dream state could be contained and wrapped around and done on a whole other level in another dream state. There's no cap to this vibration. There's none of that. Now, why would I say, what does all this mean in the end of the day? Like, okay, but I still got to get up and go to work. You honestly don't. And when you catch a certain type of awareness within you, when you're sitting in that like band of frequency, like whether it's alpha or beta or delta or theta, I'll be honest with you, I think I was floating around delta and theta. But I was aware in that spot. And if anybody knows, those are your deeper, brainwave areas. So I was floating around in there. And then I started thinking about what would I do with some kind of knowledge like that? How would I live a dead life? And if we say dead, how do we live a dream life? How do we do that when we understand this profound knowledge that it's all a dream state? And that I have certain abilities and powers at this level. Because there's a tethering. It's almost like you're in a dream state, but it's a confined dream state. So it's like, come on, man. Like, you say I got the keys to access everything, but none of the doors are opening. Or they open the way they want to open. So it's almost like a prison system. It's like a prison, but you got to understand, we have the option to walk outside of that. I think at any given time. I think as we get older and we start to die out, that is part of the process. Because I think the way I ended up arriving to these answers was that when people, I always ask myself, what is making people continue to go on in life? Like, we're talking about like the people that have it all, done it all, are kind of just bored. I'm talking about bored out of their minds here. Because I can put my mind there and just be like, yo, I don't care what more material, the more material. Oh, I got to jump out of airplanes, but how many airplanes you got to jump out of? Well, I don't feel alive unless I'm going on a roller coaster. I want to do roller coasters all the time. So that's escapism. So now you're telling me that you've done all these experiences, but the one that you're most attached to is the one that's trying to get you out of here. And so I'm fixated on some of that questioning, because I look at older folks and I'm like, why are you still, like, you carry on? Like, why do you still want to carry on? What is your purpose here? What wakes you up in the morning? What makes you give you reason? This matrix philosophy, it plays out all the time. So I'm busy asking myself these questions a lot. And I've done this now for about a year or two, where I've looked at older people and go, why? What's carrying you on? What gets you excited? You got a family? Did you put everything into that basket? Because guess what, everybody? You don't go on to the bigger dream, mega manifestation experiences and boom, 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 when you relegate all of the energy to a singularity type thing. So, for example, in my existence, for what motivates me, keeps me moving, yada yada, but I'm still not at that high thrilling point, which you think I would be. It's my daughter. So am I depressed? I don't feel depressed. I don't have any real major aspects and wants and desires. but I do care for my daughter and her well-being, and that is a stronger enough or more motivating thing. I play the video game that gives me, because it's a world, it's an escapism. So I'm saying, coming back down to life, what are we convincing ourselves of all the things that keep us excited? But you understand though too, if that is where your if that is what keeps you driving and going for, that's what actually will keep you here in this kind of based, programmed, structured dream state. I don't really care to go through reality anymore. I don't want, I mean, when I say that, I mean, I don't care to define this experience as reality anymore. I'm gonna probably start to try to get away from that word, because all the gurus talk about it being an illusion. If you really go and source this out, I promise you'll find it. There is scientists has been on this for decades. They will clearly tell you you are not living reality. It is all an illusion. These are the people you might respect, you might call God over somebody like me, but they will already agree with your boy here, LB, that it's an illusion. It's not real. So I want to get away from that word real and reality and focus more on the dream states. So I want to be able to either maximize this dream experience, run it like a simulation in a video game, because that's basically what we're agreeing to. We're agreeing to either play day in and out a game that we're really bored of playing, but we have to play because we got to keep our little coins up, and because the coins give us other stuff that makes us happy, like eating. You honestly didn't have to eat. You didn't have to drink water. There was a whole lot of slew of things that you never even needed to do in this experience if you didn't want to. This is weird. Like somebody says, you got to eat and drink to live. Go look the stuff up. I've showed this to people in VR, and they're like in shock, and they're like, "What?" Like, yeah. Like, I got the same capabilities that everyone else does. So I halfway believe sometimes that people are in my dream. Because if my mind can find this out and have known this for years and years, why is it that nobody else has sought this out and they're doing some of the same things I'm doing? It doesn't make any sense. I feel like people are playing a game against me. Like, you really don't know that? But there's a lot of stuff that I don't know either. Too much. Plenty. But you got people that can fly, and you can look those videos up. You've had people that haven't ate for like 60 or 70 plus years. Years. Go look it up. I think the guy actually died not long ago. He's an Indian dude. But he never ate. He didn't eat or drink. They put him in a clinic and they studied him like medical professionals just to see. They were gonna prove this motherfucker. They were gonna like, yeah, we got a charlatan right here. We're gonna call him out. Nah. Proved medical science wrong. I'm not encouraging you to go out here and try this stuff. You might die. What's your belief? I'm saying, what do you energetically agree to? Because last night, I almost checked out. I felt like I was getting like a little edgy. Like, you mean to tell me I can slip out and just die right here? Like a few times? Like, I feel like my spirit might just roll on out of here. That was a weird feeling. And the only reason why I held back was because I have my daughter. That was it. So, on this video, I'm going to end it right here. Because I got to make a call. I got the ex calling me and all this kind of crap. I had a great dream last night. My daughter's up in the morning. We all slept good. I'm planning on putting together this bookcase. You put together your bookcase and figure out if dreams are what you're into. I'll talk to you on the next video. Happy Tuesday. Peace.